Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes, and today we'll be talking with Jamala Rogers. She's so much of everything, an organization for Black Struggle, columnist for the St. Louis American newspaper, member of so many organizations today on The Bernie Hayes Show. Welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes and Jamala Rogers. Happy Kwanzaa.
Same to you, Bernie. Yes, Barigani.
Yes, Barigani. I see you're wearing a Kwanzaa shirt. What is Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa is a holiday that was started back in the late 60s with the whole intent of really bringing communities together, particularly African communities together, to look at what typically would be a harvest, but in our case is the work of the community, and really begin to project and renew ourselves for the next year. So there's 7 days of each one representing one of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and we were the Organization for Black Struggle. Folks that are in there were some of the first ones to celebrate Kwanzaa in St. Louis, so it does have a special place in my heart, and so to see it being celebrated widespread, maybe not the commercialization part, but to see people actually know what it is and celebrate it in some form has been encouraging.
What is the Nguzo Saba?
The Nguzo Saba is the 7 principles, and again, it represents the Black value system. And so you have, unity, you have self-determination, you have collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, faith, and creativity. So all of those are part of a value system that's not just practiced those 7 days from December 26th through January 1st, but every day. And so that's why I didn't feel any hesitancy in wearing my shirt, and it's not technically Kwanzaa, because I'm not going to have, for example, one shirt that I can only wear one of 7 days.
Sure.
So, and also just to remind people that Kwanzaa is every day. You're practicing those values every day.
And you and Malana Karenga go back quite a few years, don't you?
Yeah, and I think like a number of organizations who value the Kwanzaa, creation of Kwanzaa, because even though Malana Karenga did that, it was the Congress of African People that helped popularize it based on the number of chapters that we had throughout the country. But I think there's also some issues that back in the day that had not been resolved for a number of Black organizations based on Maulana Karenga and the US organization. So we still have some healing to do around that piece.
Yeah, and his history is endowed for some people too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So is it possible to celebrate Kwanzaa and Christmas?
Oh, sure. They're not mutually exclusive, because Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday. It never was to supplant Christmas. And so there's people who do both. And then there's some people who don't celebrate either. So, that's practicing self-determination, kujichagulia. So whatever works for you. But I think for us in the Organization for Black Struggle, we see it as a way to bring our families and members together to really renew the work and get ready for the new year.
The Organization for Black Struggle. Tell us what that is and how many years you've been in existence.
So, Bernie, we were founded in 1980. We were much younger than we are now, but we were a bunch of young people that were looking at the political landscape and seeing the assault by our own government on the Black liberation movement coming out of the 60s. And we started to look at who's representing Black people, who's representing the Black workers, working class. And there was not any organizations that were doing that. And so student groups, labor organizers, just community people came together and founded the Organization for Black Struggle. And so we're about to celebrate our 42nd anniversary celebration that we'll talk about in a few minutes more.
42nd.
So I was going to say our pillars that we were founded on was, criminal justice, police accountability, youth development, and women's rights. And so those continue to be the pillars that we work from, even though we have a more expansive platform that we work from. But those have been the solid pillars that our work has been based on and built upon.
Well, the Organization for Black Struggle have made so many strides, and you've saved so many people's lives, and you've created, with your help, a civilian review board for the police department, and you've done so many. You saved Ellen Reasonover from death, Reggie Clemens. You saved Reggie, and so many others. You brought attention to the Maryland Banks Clay case. You've done so much, Jamala. Are you satisfied with what you've done, and what's the vision for the future?
So I would have to first say that that was done with me being involved, maybe sometimes in leadership, but those kinds of big picture issues, those kind of sea change issues really take a whole bunch of people, a whole lot of committed people. And sometimes it takes years for it to come into fruition. Like, for example, local control of the police. That was something we worked on for 2 decades before we actually had it. And so in many ways, I am encouraged by the gains, but there's so much more to do. And sometimes even those gains have meant, 2 steps forward or 1 step back, and sometimes, 2 steps back. But I think, for example, one of the things we're looking at when we see the new mayor dealing with the platform of police accountability, she could not be doing that without having local control of the police. And so that's one of the things that I think sometimes people don't understand how these things connect, because if it was still under under the state, it would be, the former that's there in the State House that would be making decisions about St. Louis and Kansas City. And so in many ways, people are grateful for that vision that we had when we knew no matter who's in office here in St. Louis, and at that time it was Slay, we still have to struggle for what we think is the best possible scenario for citizens in St. Louis, and that is to have control of their own police department.
Tell us about the 42nd anniversary that's coming up.
So the 42nd anniversary is going to be different this year in that, first of all, it's always the last Saturday in January, and because of COVID, we're going to move it to the last Saturday in February. And we haven't, the site is not finalized yet, but it will be February the 26th at 4 o'clock. And so we would just ask people to continue to check our website and our Facebook page for the details. But it's going to be centered around Black political empowerment, Bernie, because that has been a thing that across the country where we see this next round of new leadership come into both citywide offices and statewide offices and federal offices, that what does that mean that we have, we have a Congresswoman Cori Bush, we have, Mayor Tashara Jones, we have, Circuit Attorney Kim Garden, we have Comptroller Arlene Green. Is our fate better or worse based on having these people in offices? So we want to take a look at that and explore that, not just locally, but nationally too. And it's in connection with the 50th anniversary of the National Black Political Convention, which some of us helped to organize. And so we have an organic relationship to that whole movement. But that will be held in Newark, New Jersey, and it's co-hosted by Mayors Ras Baraka and Mayor Chokwe Lumumba.
Well, okay, so I need to know how to reach the Organization for Black Struggle and find out more information about either purchasing tickets or updating on where it's going to be.
So for any information about the anniversary or for the Organization for Black Struggle, you can call us at 367-5959. Our website is www.obs-stl.org. But you can also just put in Organization for Black Struggle, and that should get you to the website. But yeah, just give us a call, 367-5959.
And they'll update us on what the location will be and what time, and well,
exactly.
You already mentioned the date.
As those details get finalized, we'll let people know.
Right. Jamala Rogers is my guest, and she's a frequent guest here at the New Life Evangelistic Center because she's such a wonderful person. And we're at the 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. And we'll be right back with Jamala Rogers after this.
Will you help New Life Evangelistic Center get back into 1411 Locust Street? Your tax-deductible gifts are urgently needed at this particular time, and there's many different ways that we're working to get back in that facility. One of the ways is to continue to inform the community through the Bernie Hayes Show and other programs. And if you haven't supported the Bernie Hayes Show and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center, please do it now. It's urgently needed. Your gifts are deeply appreciated. So many homeless people are waiting to get back into 1411 Locust, and so many others need the direct help that New Life is trying to provide at this time, but is facing some real financial needs, and that's why your gift is very, very important. And to express our thankfulness for all of you that are sharing your gifts, we want to send you this special Bernie Hayes cup. It's my wife's favorite drinking cup. She loves to drink out of this cup, and this is actually the only coffee cup she wants to use is the Bernie Hayes cup. There's something very special about this cup, and we'll send it to each one of you that share a gift of $25 or more with the New Life Evangelistic Center and ask for your Bernie Hayes cup. It's P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. Your gift will not only help us get back into the 1411 Locust building, but will help our first responders that are on the streets, the first responders that we have out there day after day, night after night. It will help keep our women and children in our safe houses, continue to keep our training programs open, our worldwide mission work, whether it's in India, Haiti, Africa, so many different things the New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. In addition to NLEC TV, tell your family and friends about it. Put it on your phone. Put on your, get that phone app on all your friends' phones so that they can all see the Bernie Hayes Show or go to 24.2. It's your prayers and gifts that make all of this possible. I thank God for those of you who continue to pray for the reopening of 1411 Locust and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. There's so many obstacles we're facing as we try to help the homeless, but we're going to continue to give it to God. We're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to work, but we need you to partner with us. So again, it's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. I thank God for each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing.
And welcome back. My guest is Jamala Rogers. Jamala, in your column for the St. Louis American newspaper, will you also be updating the Organization for Black Struggle information?
Probably yes. I would say yes to that, Bernie, only because I plan to do a column on the National Black Political Convention, and so in that way we'll tie that in. But generally, I try not to be too self-serving and write about only the organizations that I'm a part of, but really how they affect the whole of the region or even the country. So, but definitely somewhere in the St. Louis American, there's going to be information about the 42nd anniversary of the Organization for Black Struggle.
Okay, once again, how can we reach the Organization for Black Struggle?
So you can reach us by phone at 314-367-5959. That's the phone number. Or you can go to the website where, you can contact us through the email address there, and that's www.obs-stl.org, or just put in Google the Organization for Black Struggle. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you join us. We'd love for you to donate to us because we can't continue this work, as you know, Bernie, being a part of New Life Evangelistic Center without the support of people's time, resources, and their commitment.
And are you on Facebook also?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, and we use all the social media platforms. So again, people can keep in touch with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
It's been a couple of years since you had the live presentation, the live celebration of the 40th anniversary of the Organization for Black Struggle, your anniversary celebration. How did COVID affect you now? Well,
COVID is no doubt has affected everything and everybody in ways that I think, Bernie, we really don't even know to that extent, both in terms of upon the psyche of us as a nation, but also the many changes that we've had to make in our lives. Last year for the 41st, it was totally a Zoom, and in many ways you lose the flavor of just the communal gathering. So it was what it was, and we understand that it's the way of the land right now. But this year, because COVID is, most of us, I'm talking about most of us, enlightened people, are getting our vaccinations and wearing our masks. We're doing the social distancing. We decided that we would have both the in-person as well as the Zoom. So we're looking at and still involving people, and in this case, people from other parts of the country can even, participate. And so that way, it does expand the way that you can involve people. But we love the interaction and the fellowship of people when they're all together. So we're looking forward to the day. Maybe the 43rd will be totally in person, but right now we're just with the abundance of caution, we're going to have it smaller, but maintaining the CDC guidelines.
And for those who want to donate to the Organization for Black Struggle, if they want to send money, how can they do that?
Oh, they can go to the website. There's a special tab that you can hit donate and donate whatever amount. You can also become a monthly sustainer. So yeah, just go to the website, which is at the bottom of your screen, and feel free to donate. No matter how the amount of the donation, we appreciate it.
You've been pretty vocal on the Homer G. Phillips situation. I know people think about Homer G. Phillips, they think about Zenobia Thompson, that is, and Wale Amusa, Percy Green, you, Alderman from the 4th Ward, Clifford Wilson, and Jamala Rogers, you know. And you were very, very strong about not closing Homer G. Phillips Hospital. And now there's a movement to try to rename a 4-bed facility, Homer G. Phillips Hospital. And I understand there was recently a rally and also a petition being circulated not to do that. Tell us about that, Jamala, and your involvement.
So yeah, it's just ironic that at the time of the founding of the Organization for Black Struggle, many of us were involved in the effort to keep Homer G. Phillips Hospital open in 1979. And so it's clear in my mind that struggle, it really is. And the fact that the reason that Vince Shamel was elected is because he made a false promise that he would keep that hospital open, and he did not. So we've had a whole string of occurrences that deal with what health and medical institutions remain in our community that's accessible for us, and how has that impacted the overall health of our communities. So now we have, and I wouldn't even call it a movement, Bernie, to open up the facility, the 3-bed facility on the north side by Paul McKee. It is a small group of people who basically said, we want this name, with very little communication and input from the folks who are stakeholders in that. So what you have is like the Black Nurses Association has come out against using that name. People who were born and raised in the 4th Ward, which is where the hospital is located, it's expanding. So Organization for Black Struggle participated in one of the hearings. It was a community hearing to express our views, but we're also going to be participating in collecting signatures for the petition. And yesterday, I represented OBS at the aldermanic hearing on this issue, and we had made it clear. I think initially, Bernie, we were looking at you just didn't get input from the community, and that you should, but we've moved away from that to say, wait a minute, Paul McKee, your reputation is less than stellar and accountable in this community, so we don't want that name, which it means a lot to this community, associated with you and whatever you're doing, because it has not proven to be good for our community. And one of the questions I posed at the hearing is, if you have been unresponsive to the concerns of the community about this particular issue, you have accumulated hundreds of parcels of land, which are basically slum buildings, plenty of code violations. How are you going to serve us with dignity and respect at a facility? I just don't believe it happened, and I just left my statement with saying what Maya Angelou's told us, when people show you who they are, believe them. And we've seen what Paul McKee is, and we don't want the name of Homer G. Phillips associated with anything that he's doing.
They're trying to reduce the number of number of aldermen in the city of St. Louis from 28 down to 14. Do you think there's a chance that you get what you want through the Board of Aldermen for Homer G. Phillips Hospital?
That is a good question, Bernie, because one of the issues that people have been saying is like our alder people have been unresponsive when it was just 28 and they had like everywhere from 7 to 10,000 people. What are they going to do, and how responsive will they be if it's double that size? And so I don't know what that board is going to look like, because as you know, people will be able to run. You know, it's just going to be interesting. And I know that the board also approved, I'm hoping it's the first round of approval, the redistrict map, so people have a chance to see where they live and how that's going to fare out with the new map. But I think more is better in terms of like democracy and having people, 28 wards represent a smaller group of people and really be attentive to them. But I also am hearing that allegedly the savings are not going to necessarily mean any more support for the alder people. So you're going to have a ward almost double your size, but you won't have administrative support. And I'm trying to figure that one out. But maybe as the board has more hearings, public town halls about this, maybe that will become clear. But I thought the whole reason for the reduction of the board is to be more efficient and effective, and I'm not seeing that yet. Not saying that it's not going to happen or it's not in the plan, but I haven't heard that yet.
Okay, we'll be right back with Jamala Rogers after this.
So many people are being left on the streets homeless all day long without anywhere to go because downtown St. Louis continues to fight efforts to reopen 1411 Locust. Yes, the downtown neighborhood organization that has continued to fight the New Life Evangelistic Center for the reopening of 1411 Locust and lobbied the Slay administration, the Cruzan administration to keep it closed and close it down must be strongly resisted at this particular time. We have a new mayor. I believe she cares about the homeless. Tashara Jones needs our support. If you'll join me in prayer over this, if you'll join me in resisting these special interest groups, if you want to believe the time for action is now, please contact me. I'm Larry Rice at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166. You can call me at 314-421-3020. I thank God for faithful viewers of Bernie Hayes, and now the time for action has come.
Today's subject, Sister Soldier. Born in the Bronx, New York, and raised in the projects, Soldier's a fighter who came up from the bottom. A graduate of Rutgers University, she earned a degree in American History and American Studies. She also attended the Cornell University Advanced Placement Study Program and studied abroad in Europe at the University of Salamanca. A global student, Sister Soldier traveled throughout her college years to England, France, Spain, Portugal, Finland, and Russia. Her academic accomplishments were reinforced with her first-hand experiences. As a community activist, Soldier organized against racially motivated crimes, police brutality, and the miseducation of urban youth. She produced and promoted several outdoor rallies and concerts in Harlem, New York, which drew nearly 30,000 youth. Sister Soldier, our subject for today.
With God, all things are possible. When I go on a daily prayer walk, often it seems like it's totally impossible that a great revival could take place if I see house after house. I can pray right now, Lord, let your revival unfold. Let those in this house and the houses all over our community come to know you, Jesus. This morning as I walked, I went to an area where a man had been killed, and I prayed for all the violence in our community. I believe that God is a miracle-working God. We can begin to pray for revival. We can come up in the name of Jesus against all the violence in our community. We can pray that His love will move in a great and mighty way. It's happened in the past, and it can happen now. Let us begin to pray for revival. In order for that to happen, we have to be revived. We have to ask the Lord to forgive us. We need to forgive others, and we need to let His grace and power and love flow in us and through us. This is the hour. The Spirit of God wants to move across to our community. Let's go to Him in prayer. Let's let the Holy Spirit work in us and through us, and let's watch Him do exceedingly on what we can even ask or think.
And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Jamala Rogers. And Jamala Rogers is with the Organization for Black Struggle. Jamala, you're one of the co-founders, right?
I am a co-founder. Yes, I am.
Who was the other co-founder?
There were a number of us, but I think the ones that are most active now is Kalimu Indesha and Baba Tubayeti. Both of them are also founding members of the Infrared Rockers Band. So we've been hanging tough for over 50 years now. So
it's good to see Baba Tu and Kalimu all the time.
Yeah.
You know, when I do see them. And Jamala, once again, tell the people about how they can participate in the 42nd anniversary of the Organization for Black Struggle.
So we really want people to realize that it is, community organizations that really help to galvanize the community for the basic needs and aspirations. And so we invite you to join the Organization for Black Struggle. You can contact us at 367-5959. We definitely would love for you to be present in some way at the 42nd anniversary celebration, which will be February the 26th of next year. And, if you can't join, you may want to be a sustainer or make a donation. But however that participation happens, we encourage you to be involved in 2022. Our situation as, African Americans in this country is not where it should be, and the only way that is going to get better is if people get involved and start organizing with us and other groups who are about building power for our community. So give us a call. If you don't know how you can participate, we can help you figure that out. So call us at 367-5959, area code 314.
And the original date's always in January, but this year's being moved to what?
Yeah, we don't want to confuse people by telling them the old date. We're going to say February 26th, because for folks who are just introducing themselves to the organization, they don't know their history. And so we want to concentrate on one date, and that's February the 26th, Saturday at 4 p.m. And more information about speaker, about the venue will be forthcoming.
And one of the benefits of being a member of the Organization for Black Struggle?
Well, one of the benefits is you get a chance to be part of some of the cutting edge accomplishments that we've seen, that you even named, Bernie. Local control of the police, first ever civilian oversight board, elections of prominent black elected officials that are going to carry out a people's agenda. So yeah, I think it's well worth anybody's time and effort to be a part of the organization.
And also, Jamala, we don't have that much time left, but tell us about the youth component of the Organization for Black Struggle.
Well, they've been very busy. We've hired a first time ever youth organizer, and they are doing a mural over at the Rural Community Center, which is our political home, physical home in the 22nd Ward. And so it's part of a process that's leading up to the 50th anniversary of the Rowan Community Center. So all of those entities are entwined, and that is the place where we hang out. And so they've been busy and doing various things and dealing with youth development and some of the issues that they're grappling with both at school and home. So I got a chance to hang out with them last Saturday, and we had a good time. We made ice cream from scratch. So they're learning all about science and art and history, and so yeah, that's a place where people can also, if they have children or grandchildren, to be involved.
Once again, I want to say asante sana, Jamala, for being with us again.
Sineno, Sikitu.
Tutanana.
Tutaonana.
And each and every one of you, I want to thank you for watching and supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. We're at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri, 63114. Have a great day. Until next time, please check vaccination if you're not, and stay safe.